How's it going, guys? We are back with another video here, and this video is how to score in NHL 22 with pro player Polgz. I want to give a quick shout out to him. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. That link's going to be in the description, and also follow him on Twitch. Same thing, link in the description. He streams probably around 4 or 5 times a week. Streams his Hut Champs games. One of the better players out there in the whole world. And yeah, you want to definitely listen to what he's going to say. Polgz, welcome. And are you happy to be here?
What's going on? Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and hopefully I can help some people score some better goals and learn how to score better.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you score a lot of goals that I'm pretty shocked about. The goals that I definitely have not scored before. So definitely I'm excited to see what you think on certain plays and exactly what kind of reads you make. All right, so getting going on this first clip here. So you have Matthews here, and you make a nice spin to find Crosby. So basically, on that play right there, what are you seeing? So with Matthews, what do you see?
Basically with Matthews, I see that the guy's not controlling Suzuki, who's beside Matthews, and usually AIs won't really hit you if you kind of L2. So I figured I could make a move to the middle while getting Crosby opening for the 1T once the guy comes over to hit Matthews off the puck, because I can also deke the goalie or throw the cross crease, which is what I did once I saw him step over.
Yeah, it just became a pretty simple play. Once you did that backskate, like he broke down completely, and you had the pass, and it was just really, that was just due to that backskate. So I mean, what in that situation, when you what makes you know that you can backskate there, without getting hit off the puck? Because some people can obviously just crush you once you turn your back. Because some people do that. So how did you know here you could do it without getting hit?
Well, basically, because it was an AI and not an actual human on Suzuki, I just knew I could shield the puck off, because usually AIs won't go for hits. There's an odd time they'll get the incidental, but for the most part, you can usually L2 around a computer without them hitting you, which is why I thought that would open up some space to get Crosby or possibly deking the goalie an option.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. And this next clip here, it's with Crosby again, and you have Crosby, and you wait for that guy Hedman coming up. So what did you do here to buy space, and how did you know your Hedman was going to be in that position? What made you know that Hedman was going to be driving and be wide open on that play?
Well, pretty much my lines were actually changing in this moment, so I knew my D-man would be extra aggressive and step in. So I just tried to wheel it wide with Crosby, and then I ended up just kind of chucking it across the net, hoping for it to get through, and it ended up getting through to Hedman. Pretty simple there, yeah.
Yeah, and this one right here, a goal you score pretty often, right, you'd say. So it was just a turnover by him, literally awful turnover. And you got Matthews. So would you say that's a very, very viable way to score? That hold to the forehand to go to the backhand?
Yeah, I like to call it the double forehand, and I think it's really effective. I score tons, and you can also do it on the other side on the back, which is called the double backhand. But it's probably one of the most effective ways to score when you're in close in front of the net, for sure.
Yeah, probably a 99.9% chance. Really, odds of the goalie making the save is just not very high.
Yeah, as long as you have the room, it's pretty simple to do. You just have to get the right movement to get your sticks over, of course.
All right, so this next one here, so it looks like another one. Yeah, you're back skating, and you create that space, and you have Jones cutting in there. So what made you know that you could cut to the middle here, and how did you know Jones was gonna be wide open? Because that was a really, really nice play to just create that space into the slot. Because obviously you can't shoot from here. Unless you're going backhand, it would be a very weak shot. So how did you know you'd have enough space and time to find Jones?
Well, pretty much I knew that he was controlling the guy beside the puck, which was Draisaitl at the time when I did make the cut through the middle. And I knew if I L2'd facing away from him and ended up holding it on my back end, that he wouldn't be able to bump me. And basically I just tried to hold it middle. I knew I wasn't going to score from there, so I was either going to be patient and hold it and then hit Jones, which is what I did, or I was going to take it around behind the net or circle around and around the high slot. But I ended up hitting Jones and being patient because I knew he was going to open up.
Yeah, it really just comes down to patience on a play like that,
yeah.
Right? It's just, and it's very rewarding when you can just wait someone out like that.
Good shot off.
Yeah. So this one, okay, so a goal like that, right? So what did you exactly do in this situation to kind of just, because once you picked it up, right? You picked it up, and then like, how did you make the goalie bite so hard on that to just easily go backhand?
So basically, I knew my guy was gonna get like a pickup animation because you could kind of see him like reaching for the puck, so he had to like reach back with his stick anyways. So I knew when I started skating forward a tiny bit, it would obviously make it seem like I'm stick handling. So I pulled it forehand into the middle and then pulled it back in quickly to do half the double back in and hopefully deke the goalie, and it ended up working because I believe he poke checked or he got stuck in an animation.
Yeah,
I think he got stuck
he
though.
got
But
stuck
yeah.
in animation. So on this play right here, so what makes you choose this move rather than like any other move? Like, why did you go to the backhand or the forehand here?
So basically, I had the option to probably go backhand, but I figured that he was going to switch because I ended up blowing by Boschman, and I figured he was going to switch to his closest defenseman.
And he
So I
did.
ended up just making, yeah, he did with foot there, as you can see at the end. But I ended up making a quick double forehand move. I felt like that was the easiest, it's probably the most easiest and simple play you can do.
Way it goes on.
Yeah, and your body also shields it off when you go back into forehand like that
Yeah.
as well.
So here's a face-off play. So face-offs are really important, right? Obviously, face-offs are important. So you do a face-off here where you just win it straight back to your left defenseman, and you walk it towards the center of the ice, and then drop it down to your left winger for McKinnon here. And in this situation, your guy is Crosby, right? And what makes you get that type of space? Like, how did you know to get that space, and how would McKinnon be there?
Well, basically, we're on the power play as well, as you can see. I knew that McKinnon or somebody on the outside of the umbrella that I was running, which I do run the umbrella for anybody that wants to know. Um, I knew McKinnon or Matthews. One of them was going to be open for sure because obviously they're down a man. So I ended up finding McKinnon. And if you take it through a little slower, I end up taking it to the corner to kind of open myself up for a passing lane for Crosby, who I saw was open, which was the guy I wanted to go to anyways. And yeah, so I pretty much just tried to be patient with McKinnon and make sure I could obviously get the pass off to the guy who was way wide open in front of the net.
A patience thing there, right?
Yeah.
So this one, okay, you do a few times here. So what's your thought process on a goal like this? So you lose a face-off, right? So but what
basically,
happens?
it's a little trick in the book. It's been around for years. I don't know. Tons of top players do it. Josh, Gren, a lot of players do it. It's pretty simple when you really think about it, but it's been around for a long time and people really don't catch on to it. But basically, you just want to go on your forehand and then make the guy stick lift, and then you just jump the draw with your winger. So you pretty much just switch to McDavid or whoever it is on that side right away, and you kind of just rush the D man and try and catch them off guard. And if you don't poke them, hopefully try not to take a penalty. But for the most part, you usually could catch like more the weaker players, I'd say, off guard with that for sure.
Yeah, and on the flip side, like, how do you defend that? Like, how do you make sure that doesn't happen? Like, if you win the face-off and someone's trying to do that to you, how do you make sure that doesn't happen?
I guess the only way to learn is to know that somebody's doing that, because people can just go forehand on any draw, right?
Yeah.
I guess the only way to learn is to kind of, if you see them do it right away, then for the next play, obviously, just make sure you're back skating right away, away from the guy pressuring you, because you can only get at a certain angle, which is from the stick lift. If you don't back up, that's all.
Yeah, so probably just avoid that face-off as well. Like, doing
Yeah,
that
or
face-off.
you could just tie up. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I do it again here
Yeah, you
too.
do it again, just to really make sure you know how to
Yeah,
do it. That's
that's
for
the
sure.
first face off of the game.
Yeah, that was just a simple cross crease. So
Yeah.
spins is something that I don't really do too often, and I know a lot of great players do it. So what's like so important about doing the spins? Like what like type of space is open from that?
The spin has been like in NHL for as long as I can remember playing. Basically, I feel like spin passes are really OP, but also like non-OP at the same time, because you're also like opening your guy up a lot to get poke checked. But when you do get the pass off, it's usually like a very, very clean pass. And what I did with pass there was I hoped for that forehand spin animation, because if I got it on my backhand, it obviously couldn't have been a pass. But since I got on my forehand, my guy spun and started facing the puck carrier, so I felt like that would have been a good opportunity to force the cross crease. Well, not really force, but definitely get it through on such a tight angle where Carey Price's pads wouldn't hit the puck, but the pass would go through.
Yeah, and then just again wide open then because he didn't switch to his defenseman here, and obviously he's not going to intercept that the AI because that pass is behind him. So yeah. So now this is a goal that I find fascinating, and I've never pulled it off, and I know of it. I just never have done it before because I don't know how to do it. So, what is your thinking when you do this? Like, how do you know it's going to be open and you can make that pass? Like, what is creating an opening to make that pass for that play?
So basically, I think most people that do watch hockey or have seen amazing goals in the NHL have seen the Kuznetsov pass behind the net or the Panarin to the Kane. It's pretty much like that, but you kind of have to modify it towards like how the game will like exactly let you make the pass. So you pretty much, if you kind of see, if you scroll back a little bit, I kind of skate into the corner with OV when I do pick up the puck, which is going to cause that Matthews in front of the net to go kind of towards the wall to give you support. So that's when you back up right away, and then he'll be stuck there, waiting there, and then that's when you kind of hit the pass right there, and it makes the goalie slide off, and you just shoot it short side.
Wide open.
And it's super effective, especially on the power play. It's well, this isn't the power play, but it's super effective.
And it can be done with any hand. It's like it could be a lefty behind the net, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So this is, yeah. So that one again, you're using your back skating ability, and you bounce off him. So he was going for a hit, it appears, or he was assuming you were going to go down low, I think, right? So
I think he was coming to hit me. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you know that you were free at this point, and why didn't you pass it? Actually, what made you think I'm going to just hold this backhand because it's going to be an easy goal? Because you think this guy's wide open back door, right? But why did you just hold this backhand?
So basically, I'm playing a good player, Flash Dab, and I'm down 2-1.
So he's going to manually switch too, right?
Yes. So basically, I kind of was bringing the puck behind the net with OV. I was planning on going behind the net, but I figured he was angling me off really well, actually, to the point where I was going to get body checked and lose the puck or pinned into the corner. So I ended up making an L2 move to beat him out of the corner, which obviously opened me up to get on my backhand here. And as a good player would, they're going to switch to the guy in front of the net. So he kind of had to make a choice, and he chose to take the pass. So I ended up, and I saw that I obviously had enough room with Ovi to definitely get across the net and just tuck it around the other side of the goalie, which is a fun move, and it works a lot for sure.
Yeah. So then this one's just not as fancy, but basically you have the puck with the D-man here, and you have your guy cut into the net. So, in that situation, some people would think maybe like, oh, you have some space here, maybe put a shot on that, but like your guy's driving to the net. So like, how do you know like your guy's gonna be wide open there all the time?
Well, basically, I have Anderson at the point. Actually, it looks really risky. So basically, I just tried to get it deep while also like we're in a 2v2 goal, 2-2 game with 3 minutes left. I just kind of tried to get the puck deep, and then I ended up seeing my computer cut past his computer to get to the front of the net. So once I beat the two computers in the slot with Anderson, I knew something was going to be open. Either a shot, if he did take the pass, I would have definitely shot it, or possibly deked the goalie, or obviously I did make that pass because he ended up coming towards me, cutting me off.
The puck here, right? So you have your guy here. So what makes you think that you could get this pass through here and it could become like a breakaway? Like what causes that?
So basically, he's playing manual D. I knew he was kind of playing like aggressive from playing him, obviously from plays before. We played almost the whole first period, so I knew he was kind of going to get caught. But the computer was also going to keep skating straight because I knew he was going to be able to get off for sure. So I ended up waiting for McKinnon to get open. Then I made the pass instantly, and then I brought it to my forehand as soon as I got it, and I went straight to my backhand so I could complete the deke on the goalie to put in the net for sure.
So yeah, it's a rebound goal, but the thing is, you created a great scoring chance here by skating with Ovechkin. So you get here, and what's your first option? So what are you thinking here when you have the puck with Ovechkin?
My first option was actually, I remember this exactly. So I have Ovi. Ovi's a very big body. I wanted to try and go backhand forehand across the crease because he's very good at holding the puck. but there was no way I was getting across with Carlson and the other defender there for sure. So I ended up just curling, trying to hope for an opportunity to open up, and I kind of just threw it backdoor. First, my first instinct was to go to Kucherov backdoor, thinking he was going to crash. But and then I ended up actually getting an auto pass to Draisaitl, which made me shoot anyways because I was going to shoot with Kucherov for the cross crease. And I ended up just getting a pretty lucky bounce off the pad right back to Kucherov, who I was originally passing to.
Yeah.
And just got the lucky tuck. Yeah, that was more of a lucky goal, but yeah.
So that's a really, really nice goal. So how did you like really figure out that, okay, you could just backskate completely out front of the net without getting poked or hit? Because a lot of times I do is I get annihilated. I just get like hit right away and like just crush off the puck. So how did you find that space, and also did not consider shooting that?
If you actually go right to the start here in this clip, when I did pick it up with Pasternak, so I'm playing a very good player in this clip. His name's Boily, another great player, one of the best players in the world right now. So he knows my play around the post that I like to pass to Barkov when I L2.
So he's probably thinking, so right here, you're going back for that pass for the one.
Yeah, so that's literally what happened. So basically, I ended up just knowing I'd have a lane in front of the net because that was the closest guy in front of the net. So the other AI is going to take the my other forwards. So I knew I was going to have the space to be able to backskate out front. But yes, I could have shot, but I figured that he would have thought I was going to shoot. So I thought one step ahead of him again, and which is what he did. So he thought I was going to shoot there.
Yeah,
and I
he
ended
committed
up waiting.
to you with Pasta.
Yeah, and I was being patient. So he committed me not once, but twice. And the third time, I ended up getting the golden opportunity, obviously.
Like even right here, though, like you didn't even, like you could have shot technically, right? Because it was really point blank. But was that a very like decent shot? Though, like could that go in, that shot, or?
Maybe on the blocker, but the angle was kind of
tough. It's a very tough shot, right?
Yeah, but at that point in that split second, I knew I already beat him twice, and it was about time I hit that back door open pass.
A little bit lucky that AI didn't pick it up. There, right? But still the right pass though.
Across the crease.
But still, another thing that this is actually a good clip too, because you did the self sauce here, which again people don't really, not everybody knows that, right? Like did you tap RB or R1? So like, when do you find it like useful to do this? Because I mean, I don't think the people that I play as much like do this as much anymore. Like yeah, sometimes with like McDavid, but like not many people do this. So you think it's so important to do the self sauce? And when?
I'm not sure. I mean, for sure last year it definitely gave you more speed. I'm not sure if it does this year. It's kind of just a habit, I guess, and I guess flashiness, just because that's just how I kind of play. I don't know. I kind of do a lot of things that are unneeded. But there, I can see him definitely trying to poke me up the puck, so I'm holding it on my forehand to protect the puck with McDavid. And then I quickly bring it on my backhand so I know I'm not going to get poked, and then that obviously froze the goalie because, once again, I'm cutting fully across the crease with 99 speed McDavid, and he's not going to catch me there. Yeah, that was more of an IRL goal for sure.
Honest, holding here. So, in this situation, do you right away know that, okay, he's holding out his defensive skill stick, so he's definitely not hitting me, so I can definitely backskate? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, basically, so I did self-sauce right before that. So this is another thing of, like, I guess kind of playing mind games. So I self-sauce it to myself, accordingly thinking, like, he thinks I don't have the puck, right? So he's going to pressure me, which is exactly what he did. So I knew as soon as I, like, picked up the puck from the self-sauce, I could make a move quickly without him reacting in time, because I obviously didn't have the puck before that. So I made the quick L2 move to get to the middle. And I had a choice of either passing or obviously deking the goalie for the backhand forehand here. But I knew that he wasn't going to switch off because he was close enough to poke me with Hedman there. So I kind of just threw it across, hoping for the best, and his AI did pick it off, but the pass was strong enough to get to Polgz for him to finish it for sure.
Yeah, because in this situation, realistically, a drive in the net here would have been hard. Like, because as long as he was controlling this guy, he could have easily hit you or poked. So, like, making that quick. And the thing here you did too, you held it to your backhand because you didn't. You held it to your forehand. You could have, exactly. You shielded the puck there, right? Because if you held the forehand, you probably could have had a good chance of poking it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, doing that was really huge, and then it's a beautiful pass, and I mean, but that whole just the back skating to create that. I mean, how important would you say learning like the LT moves are, like to being successful and to creating goals?
They're definitely crucial, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't say they're crucial. I'd say they're definitely cool to see and flashy, and they definitely do open up a lot of space for me. But then
It's
again,
not a
if it's not
necessity.
something,
You don't
yeah,
think.
if it's not something you do, not everybody does it, but it's definitely something you should try and maybe get used to, because once you do perfect it, it definitely does open up a lot of space for you on the ice for sure.
It definitely does. So here's this another face-off play. You went it to your right-handed D-man, and I believe you were an aggressive on this face-off. You were. So do you play on aggressive sometimes? And it's a power play as well. Do you put your face-offs on aggressive on just a power play, or all the time, or like what you're thinking on being aggressive, or is that an accident?
Actually, I'm one of the fewer players that do this. I put my face off every single offensive zone face off on aggressive, no matter what. Actually, I only do aggressive when the stick, the back end straight back is on that side. So as you can see, the
Yeah,
Draisaitl left-handed on that side. It goes straight back to Jones. If it was Draisaitl on the other dot, I definitely wouldn't have been on aggressive. I would have just won it straight back. But I feel like the aggressive makes it a shorter pass, which is in tighter, and it's easier to make for sure when you're on aggressive on 1T plays like this. And I also have the option to step away, which is what I did because he got to me so quickly,
yeah.
which opened up Bully RV.
So, to play, I guess, devil's advocate here, because this doesn't always become wide open, because some people do just kind of commit to the backdoor guy. What would have you done if he did defend Polgz for a wide open backdoor? And if you won that clean and got the Jones, what would have been your next move if this wasn't open? Like if let's just say he was guarding him, what would have you done with Jones?
So basically, Hedman is the right D in that situation. So he ended up taking his right D way out of the play, which is initially why I obviously was going to make the pass because he was going to be open. But if he did watch Puljujarvi, I would have probably circled back and hit my left defenseman coming across the ice, which is Hedman. When I made the step with Jones, and since I'm on the power play, I could have definitely got like a quick slap shot or a shut off with Hedman, or even McDavid there with
Yeah,
somebody in the high slot because I
exactly.
am on
Because
the
if you
power
got to
play.
him here, he could have potentially
Yeah, there
done
definitely would have been
something.
open space in the high slot. Did with McDavid before, and then I held my stick out with McKinnon. That's just like something that you don't need to do because I could have just
Yeah.
skated after it. But once again, I did pick it up at the last second, and I knew that I could make a quick L2 move, which is what I
Yeah.
did right
So
away.
right now, your options are basically nothing, because Crosby is like you can't get to Crosby. Heaven's easily
Yeah.
intercepting that. Like there's nothing. So at what like specific like moment you have to do that like by to create a goal like that? Like is this like the specific angle you have to be at to start your back skating movement to get into what you finally did in the end?
Yeah, for sure. You definitely need to make this back skating movement because I made it like the move so early, the back skate movement, because I need to obviously have an angle to still be able to deke the goalie and go short side, which is why I did it so quick. And then I ended up turning it up like higher into the slot, if you can kind of say, with my backhand, holding it on my backhand, starting the deke right here. And then I quickly bring it to my forehand while my guy's turning. And yeah, basically it's all right stick movement there from backhand to forehand, and yeah, and you just obviously get the quick backhand forehand deke on the goalie
Yeah,
to roof it.
it's just one of the most nice goals you probably can score, honestly.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's just a really nice one. Have you done different? You think maybe like instead of that?
Well, I was definitely going to lose the puck no matter what if I kept skating into the corner with
Yeah, because
McKinnon.
he would
So I
have hit
just
you for
tried to
sure.
make something happen with the L2, which obviously opened up the pass, but I pretty much just got kind of lucky on that play for sure.
Get that animation of the back skating. Like as long as you're somewhat close to the net, you can score that, right? You would say.
Yeah, for sure.
So this
This is
goal,
just a
this one,
simple
you think you got a
DD,
little bit lucky because you think maybe this one should have been a save, but in general, this plays smart, right?
Yeah, usually this is a really effective play when people are kind of playing tight point. If you can kind of go D to D, you need to make sure the first pass obviously doesn't get picked off. But once you do make that D to D pass, instead of shooting the D to Ds, I don't really shoot D to Ds. D to Ds do work, not saying they don't. Personally, I think they're a waste of a shot. So I end up looking for my winger cutting through the middle. Usually it makes the goalie, when you get the pass to hit right through exactly through the middle, usually it makes the goalie drop into a butterfly animation. It's also used in sixes. It's called a cut play. Basically, usually it makes the goalie freeze, but on this, which is why I ended up saying it was lucky, after I did score, the goalie did not freeze, so he was pretty much in perfect position. He was a bit deep in the slot, But just from like my initial like reaction and doing that play so many times, I obviously was going to shoot a far side no matter what. And just Polgz's shot is insane. So
Yeah.
just ripped top right.
Yeah. But overall, in general, like, yeah, you're a little bit far out on that, but like most of the time that does work, and it's a very like
Yeah.
the goalie does freeze, and it always creates that like good chance. Like the only way you're really missing that is if he gets a post or something, probably, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's power on it for sure. And obviously that's Crosby's animation, so that was cool.
So all right, this is another play that's interesting. So you skate in the zone with Leon here, and you make a nice little like deke there. Actually, that kind of I think it messed up his poke here. Yeah, so he got a little confused when you went to your forehand here. So what's your logic going forehand here instead of like maybe holding the back end? Like, do you think there's a better chance of getting by him by holding the forehand here?
This is something I do a lot actually. I do it in sixes. It's kind of a play I brought from sixes over, like my sixes play style. So basically, I like to like make moves in front of the D-man with my right stick to open up like a lot of space. So which is why I quickly made that deke to the middle because I knew the three red players behind Draisaitl and beside Puljujarvi weren't going to be able to catch me if I made that quick move to the middle. So I ended up trying to drive to the net and possibly deke the goalie, but he obviously got back in time with Hedman, and there was no way I was scoring. So I ended up just circling off and hopefully finding one of my players in front, which was McDavid, who cut perfectly, and which was kind of a force, but kind of not. It was kind of
Yeah,
just a quick
he
heads up
wasn't
play.
selecting like he wasn't human selecting anyone there. So
Yeah, it was kind of a quick heads up play. So basically, like I said, when you come out of the corner like that, obviously I know my AI is gonna go right to that spot. Once you do come out from the corner and bring it towards behind the net. I guess he kind of thinks I'm going to go around, but I quickly transition myself to get open for the pass, which is quickly going backwards and pulling back. That was just kind of like a quick play where he kind of got caught slacking. He could have obviously been on the post where he was with Crosby, but he ended up just leaving him open because most people don't really think of that opportunity because it's one of like it's very hard to do and not a lot of people do it.
yeah, not many people score this goal. Like I don't play many people that actually even attempt to do that. So. Basically, you come out of the corner here, and what created this like so much like space for McKinnon to just cut? Like, what did he do wrong, and what did you recognize to just understand that was going to be a huge, just wide open backdoor play?
He had Hamilton in the corner originally with me. Actually, I remember. He had me pinned on the wall right before this with Matthews, and he tried to take the puck off me with Theodore. So he ended up bringing both his defenders into the corner, and I ended up beating them out of the corner. Obviously, I don't really have any opportunity to shoot the puck or score, so I don't know why he really didn't just go L2 and face me with the puck and cover McKinnon, but. He ended up not L2ing, which is why his guy's not facing the puck. And my McKinnon made an absolutely perfect cut towards the middle. So he didn't pick up the puck basically because he wasn't facing the puck, and I just got the free cross crease.
Yeah, that's a simple but nice goal.
Yeah.
So that one here, you could kind of think that maybe you could hold the forehand and shoot. So what made you think, okay, I probably can't really get a shot here, and I have him open here? What like makes you think that you could just like do that play instead of just shooting it?
Once again, obviously there's two guys on the puck, but basically, so the guy he's controlling right now, which is the guy in the middle of that triangle, he's actually supposed to be on the guy backing up because that Hamilton's coming across the net to cover the guy behind the net, actually. So basically, when I was skating across there, obviously that computer wasn't going to catch it. So my initial reaction was actually to shoot the puck. So when he did switch to that player and left Draisaitl, I kind of just had to be patient and wait for Draisaitl to open up to get the actual good cross crease opportunity.
Yeah, it's a nice patience and nice pass.
Yeah.
So this one here, you got from Leon D to Niedermeyer to Puljujarvi. So that's actually kind of similar to the one we saw before, where you go from, So this time you have your left-handed D-man, you pass it into the slot area. The one before you pass it with your like lefty, which is your right-handed D-man, into the slot for like kind of the same play. And I think it was Puljujarvi again, right? Same player, yeah, it was. So
Yeah.
is there a difference between this one and the other one where it was kind of a deeper shot with Puljujarvi and like could have you done it like it had to have been the lefty that passed it there, right? It couldn't have been Anderson,
it had
obviously.
to have been.
So what's the difference between the two previous plays though? I guess the one that was like a deep like pass and shot, you know what I mean? Like the previous one compared to this pass.
So basically, yeah, this play, like I was talking about before, at the end towards the play. So basically, yes, it was deeper, closer to the net, which is obviously a better opportunity. And like I was talking about, where the goalie freezes. So right when Puljujarvi gets the puck, he gets it in perfect position in front of the goalie, which makes the goalie drop to the butterfly like an actual shot's coming towards him, which opens up that little angle for me to get that short side once he's frozen.
Yeah, and then it's just a easy flick up forehand.
Yeah, for sure. That could have been a goal
Yeah, that
too.
could easily been a goal. But now that was
And
just kind of
then
like just staying with the play here, right? Like you great save by his goal, and then you just have it with Puljujarvi here, and again with that ability being active, right? Also want to give a quick look at his strategies here. This is what Polgz does run: 2-3-1-2-2 blue. That's where he has his trap slash forward check, aggressive, protect net, collapsing, passive box, umbrella, zero, strong side slant, center lane option, stay wide, and standard. And then he has offensive lines on behind the net. This is on zero. This is here. He has energy all the way at 10, as do I. Block all the way on 10, and he actually has hold line slash pinch kind of here. So it's pretty interesting there because I actually don't do that. So definitely interesting, definitely interesting. But those are his strats, is what he's running right now. And thank you again so much for explaining all of these ways that you score because again, it's a lot different than how I score. I'll say that. It's a lot more thinking that goes into it. I feel like, I mean, yeah, I can score nice goals too, but I feel like some of the plays that you make are very, very interesting and just very creative, which is really cool and fun to see. And again, I feel like you play simple, but you also definitely know how to make a spectacular goal out of nothing, you know? So definitely, what's like your best advice for someone that is trying to like learn how to get better at the game though before we go?
um honestly, there's no better way than learning than watching, and watching yourself, watching other people, watching YouTube videos such as this one. But there's no other way than watching. That's the way I learned. I started coming into the Twitch community, even just watching content creators like or anybody, like any type of gameplay. You're always learning from when you see something. Like even if somebody makes a bad play and you notice it, like you know not to do that. But yeah, like I said, only watching. Like watching is the way, and watching and then trying to add that to your gameplay as well. And yeah, just watching gameplay, and even watching like when you get scored on in your own games. If you go back to watch like every single goal you get scored on or a goal you scored, you can see what you did right, what you could have done better to maybe score, or made it easier for yourself to score, or even just like a simple thing like switching to the a different guy for a cross crease, or seeing that you made a defensive mistake just by one poke check. But the way I learned was to watch, and it's the best way.
Exactly, because most things, I mean, are fixable and things that you can do
Hmm.
differently. I mean, yeah, sometimes the game, it's a little frustrating, but a lot of times it is a mistake that you made at some point to lead to that goal against or why you
Yeah.
didn't score. So, I mean, yeah, those are some good words, I do believe. So, again, thank you again for coming on the channel. First of all, I mean, you gave again great insight, and if you guys haven't already, please check out Polgz on his YouTube channel. He's grinding, he's making his own thumbnails, he's putting in the work, and again, he streams a lot on Twitch as well, and he's one of the better players. He's definitely like a top, I mean, to me, 5 player at least NA. So, yeah, I mean, Polgz, thank you again so much. Any final words?
I hope that you guys learned that the way to score, it's not only flashy and it's not really what it looks like. The simple plays are obviously the best, and you can always break things down into simple little plays. And yeah, I hope this video helped every single one of you guys out. And yeah, thank you so much, Henreek, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and might be a part 2. You never know. So I'll see you guys in the next video.